You guys are an accumulation of assistants, interns, designers, and of course, CEOs. No matter what your position is, I believe designing should be a universal knowledge sort of thing. I believe everyone should be able to design. Designing is more about your voice, right? And as the world runs on technology, you cannot fall behind, because if you fall behind on technology, then you're left behind, and we don't want to be in that position, right? So without further ado, there's going to be people coming in and out. If you guys come in and you guys are not saying anything, I would like for you guys to mute yourself, just because we can run through the call efficiently and have time to answer any Q and A's. But other than that, let's dive right in. Does everyone see everyone give a thumbs up if you guys can see my screen? You guys can give a thumbs up. All right, perfect. I see one, I see two, three, fantastic. But yes, I believe Canva is an amazing entry-level design platform for your business. There is a free option. Of course, there is a premier option or a pro option. The pro option, you can sign up monthly for about 10 to 12 bucks a month. And honestly, it's worth it, just because it opens up so many more elements, features, designs, templates, ideas, even videos and sounds. It has helped me so much. And you guys came from the Scale My Cleaning Business Facebook group. In the very beginning, I used the free option, and I was able to get my voice out, but it limits you in a sense. So I highly recommend investing like 10 to 12 bucks a month on Canva Pro after you tried out the free version, because it can be overwhelming if you jump right into it. I know Joydy said she uses this freely, so maybe she has the pro option, but if you don't, I would recommend going to pro, and I'm sure you can testify that the pro one is a lot better than the free one. But other than that, this is Canva. As you can see, I have a lot of designs that I've created over the past couple of months. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the engagement content that's scrolling by. But in this call, my job is to not make it professional. My job is to make sure that you walk away with something valuable from Canva. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to make a promotional post for a company that I work with called Painting and More. It is a painting company located in the United States, and I invested into it. I'm one of the founders, actually. So my job is to make this look alive and promote it around our local businesses. So the first thing I want to dive into is the dimensions. So the first thing you want to do when you hop on Canva is to create a design. And when you create a design, you have all these options that give you the dimensions for the desired post you want to make. The last thing you want to do is to have a YouTube thumbnail try to fit into a Facebook dimension cover. You can always customize your size, but that is a bit more complex because you have to know the actual dimensions of where you're posting it. But if you're posting on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, Pinterest, or a YouTube thumbnail, all of these options are there. So let's do a Facebook post. Facebook post is roughly around like 900 by 700 pixels. And I have the pro option. So all these options come to me freely. Although you have these templates, do not be tempted to just use the templates itself and change the words, just because they're templates for a reason. You're supposed to use the templates as an inspiration, right? So what did I say? I was using Painting and More again. I said I was gonna promote its services. So let's try using, let's just look up promo, right? And all of these templates show up. So you get to scroll through, see what inspires you. You'll see some of them are food related, some of them are national holidays, some of them are like gifts and stuff like that. But pretty much what strikes me the most is, let's see here. Let's do something really, really quick. And if you have any questions, you can always type it in the chat. I'll be able to see it from time to time. Let's do, I'm sorry, I'm really indecisive. Let's see here. Just do this. If it'll load. Okay, there we go. And as a designer, you want to make sure you label your work as specific and as detailed as possible. So what I'm going to name this is the company name, or you can put your own company name, as detailed as possible. Because if you forget the name, you can at least look it up on your computer. So the cool thing you want to do is you want to have it personalized as much as possible, right? So this is where our color hex is going to come in. So some of you guys may wonder, what is a color hex? And that is a really good question. It's just a series of numbers and letters that make up your company colors. And this is really helpful because when you start branding your merchandise, where you have like t-shirts, polos, hats, business cards or whatever, you can type this code into the color palette and your actual company page, then your actual company colors will show. And that is really helpful because the last thing you want to do is just pick generic blue and hope that your merchandise comes in as the same shade of blue as like your company page. And that has happened to me before. So definitely get a good color hex. So I'm going to find the company logo that I've used before. Gotcha. So once you have this here, you can actually use that color as the color hex. It's the same blue, and you can find a color hex through here. So this blue for painting and more services is 348BC5. So if I go to any other website, someone here mentioned BeCreative, which is another thing similar to Canva. If you want to get the same shade of blue, you can type this in, right? So this helps out a lot. But other than that, let's start designing. My goal is to attract homeowners because they specialize in residential cleaning. So we're gonna get rid of view. I like these little textures right here, but we're gonna start from scratch pretty much. I don't like this excess white that's covering all the fonts. So what you can do is click on edit image. You can edit any image really. Select background remover. And it should take a second for it to clear out all this excess white space. And now you have a clear-cut picture of the logo. But we're gonna put that off to the side for now. The next thing I want to talk about is fonts. I don't like this font. It doesn't match with our company. If you're a cleaning company and you want to be a bit more fun, you want to be a bit more youthful, I would definitely recommend, this one's not too bad. You could always do League Spartan. I feel like that's a nice, young, youthful, playful font. Monterey is typically like a bit more professional, a bit more direct, straightforward. Please avoid like handwritten stuff. No one's going to be able to read that. Even though it does fit well with the painting theme, how it looks a bit smudged like a paintbrush. I'm not going to be able to read that. I don't know if you guys will, but I just cannot. Aileron is pretty good, but I feel like this company, from the looks of it, used Monterey-san. No, they didn't. They definitely did not. Give me a second for me to figure that out. Okay. We're just gonna stick with this for now. I'm gonna stick with Grandier. But if you guys are really struggling like what type of font to use, you can honestly just type in your company name and just really see what strikes you the most. We're gonna use a person here in the group chat right now. I believe it's BNP Cleaning. Is that right, Manuel? BNP Cleaning Services. Can you hear me? Okay, we're gonna assume that he says yes. So you can always try this, see if that strikes out. See if that strikes out. Absolutely not. This one's not that bad. But the reason why I'm emphasizing fonts is because you want to make sure you save the font and try to use that consistently. If you constantly make posts where you're using different types of fonts, it's going to become like desensitized. No one's going to be taking your brand seriously. You want to make sure you're recognizable from any platform. Oh, that logo, oh, that color, oh, that font is BNP Cleaning. That font, that color, that brand, that logo, that voice is Painting and More. So whatever font and whatever color hex you have, you want to stick with it. You want to be consistent with it. Um, it's not, that doesn't directly lead you to becoming viral, but it is the stepping stones and the building blocks of what will make you recognizable. And that's what you want as a designer. That's what you want as a business owner. You want to be recognizable. Don't constantly switch up theme, colors, and fonts. Stick with what you know and with what you already have. Okay, let's just do special. Jeez. Like I said, this is me picking the same, whatchamacallit, the same. There we go. Gotcha. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay, we're gonna get rid of this orange. Even though the secondary color is mostly white, I'm actually gonna try picking this gray here. And what their offers are is 10% moving forward. Remember what I said, keep your fonts the same. You can have one other font to make it stand out. Maybe I can do, you can do this, right, to make it stand out a little bit more. But the rule of thumb for design is you don't want to have more than 2 different fonts in one post, because then there's too many things to focus on. So 1, 2, that's all you really need. But yeah, so we are a painting company. So maybe we can add some paint elements to this. Let's see what we got over here on elements. Always leverage elements. I like this. All right, let me ask you guys a question. With the rules that I've already given you guys, with the fonts, the color hex, theme, the consistency, what can I do right now to make this post better? You guys can unmute yourselves and speak.
You can maybe add more information of how contact them.
Sure. Contact. What are some good contact things I can add in there? What
Phone
ways of
number,
communication?
email.
Okay. Phone, email.
Website.
Social media.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Who said that?
Paul, you can put their social media on there.
Put your social media on there. Absolutely. That's a great idea. What else, guys? I like this. Keep it up. Becky, what about you? Can you hear me, Becky?
Yeah, I would add my website and I would change the colors so the colors are all consistent throughout.
Excellent. I was waiting on that. Perfect. What exactly? What color should I change here? What element?
Well, I don't know what you called the paintbrush look.
The paintbrush look. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
And the words, either it should be in your color or in black, or that dark gray that you're using.
Yeah, sure. Awesome. Yeah, I like it so far. All right, it's getting together. Whoa. Okay, let's stop there for now. This is really good. So we need a point of contact. We have phone number, email, social media, and website. We changed the color of this so that it matches with our theme colors. But where was I going with this? Yes. So if you are posting this on Facebook, obviously don't put your Facebook social media on there. You want to direct them into other platforms. So if I'm posting this on Facebook, which is what this is, maybe I want to add my Instagram link in there. Maybe I want to add my LinkedIn information in there. Just be very mindful. Let's change this color as well to this blue. Oh, no. Actually, yes. Okay. Awesome. So let's start talking about textures. What textures are is it adds a bit more character to it, right? So you can honestly just look up textures on Elements, and what you'll be brought is stuff like this. You know, it gives a little character to it. You can put this whole thing in the back so the words pop out more. You can even also make this a bit more transparent, right? Now it's a little different, right? Now it fills up the space a little more compared to this, right? And if you always have trouble kind of like, oh, should I put my logo here? Oh no, that looks weird because the blue kind of blends in with the blue here. What you can do, the cool thing about Elements is it gives you frames. So I can put my logo here. A circle frame is never the wrong option. Okay, Wendy said, is there a rule of how much space, clear space, or how much texture should be added on the design? Wendy, that is an excellent question. Yes, there is. What is my purpose of making this promo? To promote what? To promote the textures or to promote the business? It's to promote the business. In this case, to promote, if you move forward today, you get 10% off, right? So you can add textures if you want, but at the same time, I can go absolutely berserk, right? So I can do, let's see if I can start doing excess stuff like this. I could start doing, it'll load. My point is you want to promote what's important, right? I know it is a temptation to make it look really, really pretty and really, really nice. But at the end of the day, it's to promote your services, to promote your brand. And plus, if you add more textures and more designs, it's more time that you have to spend designing and saving. You just want to create something quick and efficient, save it to your computer, and recycle that post. Recycling as in like post it constantly throughout your platforms and go on from there. I feel like Canva is acting up on me today. But yeah, this is unnecessary. I'm honestly fully content with this design here, as long as we move stuff around. Let's do. Gotcha. And for phone numbers, I recommend this font. So do the parentheses, first, space, hyphen. I believe this is the best. I feel like the spacing is correct, and I feel like it's really easable to read. Easable, Jesus. Legible is what I'm trying to say. I've seen some people do this. It just looks a little cluttered, in my opinion. And plus, if you look at business websites, like the ones that are like bigger, they always use this system, right? So if you guys want to write that down, that's how you guys want to write it. What sucks about this company is that their email It's really long. There we go. So instead of writing social media, a cool thing you can do is, and you can put Instagram icon there. You could put a Facebook icon there. Now, I don't know what works best, but I have seen some people use like the theme colors or use like a neutral color to show the icons. There's not really a statistic on like what works best, but I guess just whatever works best for you. I personally would want to keep the icons the same color just because it's identifiable. Although this Instagram color scheme of purple, pink, orange, and yellow kind of really stands out in this post because it clashes with the theme colors. Maybe that is the point. Maybe you look at the promo and then your eyes dart down to this area and you're like, oh, they have an Instagram, oh, they have a Facebook, right? So just try it out, see what works best. Once you make a design, you can ask your friends to see which one looks better. What I've done in the beginning is I made a design, I made multiple prototypes, and then I posted it onto my group or my Facebook page or to my friends asking, do you guys like A, B, or C better? Then people will pick whatever they like best. And what that'll do is it'll generate organic traffic, it'll generate attention, it'll generate conversation and engagement for your page, therefore ultimately benefiting you in the long run. But I'm here to tell you about designing Canva today, not all that yet. So you can add textures. I actually don't like that one. I'm gonna pick a different one. That was just for an example. Let's see here. No, I already have a paint stroke in there. For elements, the rule of thumb is you want to have maybe 1 to 3 elements max. Again, like I said before, the more elements you have, the more it takes away from the message. So I'm okay with this paint stroke right here. I just want to add something small and something minimal. Let's try this, guys. Hold on. Let me try something. Oh, I can't edit that picture. Can't edit that picture either. Let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll show you guys what I'm doing. Okay, cool. This kind of looks like a paint rolling mark. Okay. You guys smell what I'm tasting here? This is the most marketing looking thing I've ever created. Remember back in like the early thousands and like the 1990s, this little explosion element was big. This is prototype 1, right? Let's talk about this. What do you like? What do you guys not like about this promo? You guys can unmute yourselves. I guess I might have to pick one. Oh, Becky, go ahead.
I like your bottom. I like that whole part, but
Sure.
I do not care for the move forward today with the blue in the background. And I really
I was about to say the same.
Sure. Okay. How does this look for you guys? A little better, a little less distraction around that blue?
Yes.
Gotcha. Let's make this a little bigger too. Gotcha. You know what?
I don't like the explosion.
You don't like the explosion?
No.
Yeah, for sure. And why is that?
to me, it's too distracting.
Distracting. Gotcha. Maybe remove it. Is that what you're recommending?
Yes.
Gotcha, for sure.
Perhaps if the banner that you used on the top, you could reverse and just use the color on the bottom. You can reverse and do the color on the top if you wanted to, but I was always taught to use your white space.
To use the white space. Yeah, for sure. So there is a thing called white space and there's a thing called negative space. So what I'm using here is the white space. Everything is spaced out proportionally. It's legible. Your eyes aren't darting to one place or another. Everything is in its spot. Negative space would be if I remove this, then there's this empty space floating there. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? I always recommend finding the right balance between the two. So let's bring that back. Gotcha. Now, the one thing I want to accentuate here is a 10% off. So that's why I made this a little bit bigger. But it does look like everything kind of blends together not in a good way. So what I'm probably going to try and do is go ahead and stretch this out. But what I want to emphasize here is there's so many options for the pro version, right? And you guys can always have fun with this. You guys can play around with this because once you are able to like master the elements and the features and the textures and everything, then the possibilities are endless, right? And once you master it, you could dedicate at least one day of the week for about maybe 2 hours, just make a week's worth of content or a month's worth of content using similar templates like this, right? And then you can have it scheduled so that it posts on your pages every couple of days. A lot of my clients do Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, where they promote promotionals or discounts or offers and stuff like that. But yeah, let me get some other voices in here. I want this to be as interactive as possible. Let's see, Paul, what do you think? What do you think of this? If you were scrolling and you saw this, would you stop to read the caption?
Yeah, I like it. I think it stands out.
Awesome. Is there any way it can be better, Paul?
Well, I think I'm getting a little bit overwhelmed with the blues. It's just a whole lot. Yeah.
Sure. What can I do to make this better?
I don't know. I would think maybe just pop a little color in somewhere. You know what I liked? I like you know how you use the first time you used the Instagram logo. I liked the original one, the one that's filled out a little bit more.
Sure. Okay. Let me.
But other than that, it jumps out. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Noted.
that.
So using less blue and keeping the icons, it's the same original element.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for your input. Andy, what do you think of this? What is there any other way I can make this better? Any insight you have for us?
Right now it looks kind of like too busy and kind of like two-dimension, like blue and black. And
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Gotcha. No, it's okay. I think that's good. So let's see how we can make this better. How could if you were scrolling through, right, this is for your company, right? We're using the theme colors. What makes it too busy? Is it too many words? Is it too many colors?
I don't know if the special promo, I don't know, the paint dropping, is that part of the, I don't know. I don't like that part. It kind of like
Gotcha.
makes it look kind of like messy.
Looks messy.
So
Oh, I see what you mean.
I will
Okay.
look for something more. I would look for something more clean that
Clean,
makes the
okay.
whole thing look, I don't know, more fresh, more exciting, more
Gotcha.
exciting somehow.
Yeah, for sure.
Besides that, the client saying like 10% off. What else is exciting about that? To me,
Yeah.
even though my is good, it's another promo thing that you might see on a newspaper. Or I don't know.
Gotcha.
So
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah,
to
for
me, it
sure.
should provoke something that really like, oh, let me take a look at this. Besides the 10%, I don't know.
Gotcha.
I
Sure,
think maybe
absolutely.
the white background should go. I think maybe instead of the white background, put a little bit more color back there to make the words pop out.
Absolutely.
I could not tell exactly what it is, but I have to. It's almost there. It have like
It's
it
almost
needs
there.
it needs the it to make it exciting.
Gotcha, gotcha. You guys hear that? We need a little bit more. We need an element here that'll make things pop out. And I mentioned,
Or
go
sorry.
ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Or maybe not an element. It's like Paul told you that there is so much blue and black. So maybe you can, use that color pop in, for example, 10% off. So maybe it can call more attention for the people when they are,
Oh,
maybe it
gotcha.
works in a soft yellow or something like that that can switch. They can,
Gotcha. Okay.
that maybe you can see it from the distance and maybe call that attention. I don't know. Maybe it can work.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, I think that's a great insight. The reason why we're having an open discussion like this is because you guys can now hear other inputs in your own mind. Instead of thinking, how would this look good for me? Now you're thinking, how would this look good for others? Will people be on the same wavelength as me? So this is really, really cool. But yeah, so some things I took away from your guys' insight is it looks a little messy, right? It looks a little messy. There's a lot of blue going on. Maybe change the background, the back. Something is missing that's preventing me from actually wanting to read it.
There's too many words at the top there. It's just too many words.
Too many words on the top for sure.
Well, no,
Maybe
that's the special promotion part I think is fine, but that what you had about calling starting today or something like that, that those two things right next to each other, I think were just
gotcha.
too much.
For sure, for sure. That's an excellent point. So I think we're all in agreement that we cannot make it look busy. And I kind of want to branch off of that. When you're making posts like this, when you're making content like this, do not put all of your information on one picture. Your goal is for them to read your caption. And in the algorithm, when someone is scrolling through and they're stopping to look at the promo, they're reading your caption, the platform will track the amount of time the potential prospect spends on the post, therefore leveraging your presence and your engagement. When if multiple prospects spend more time on your post, let's say Facebook sees that, wow, a bunch of people spent 20 seconds on this post. That's really good. In the algorithm, if someone spends more than 20 seconds on a post, that is considered like really good engagement. Instagram or Facebook will see that as, oh, we should blast this post more so that other Instagram, other Facebook users who see this will spend more time on our platform. Does that make sense, everyone? Can I get a 1 in the chat if that makes sense for you guys? Remember, social media, it's all a business, right? Like their job is to keep you on their platform, right? And if your caption isn't good, if your promotional or if your post isn't visually capturing, then what's the point of posting? You're just spending time designing. And that's the last thing I want you guys to do. I'm so glad a lot of you guys put a 1 in there which is fantastic. So what can we all agree on? It has to get your attention. It can't be busy, or it can't have all the information on one post. Because I'm just going to go really extreme here. I can do something like this and then put
Call
something.
of action, perhaps?
I'm sorry?
Maybe call of action?
A call to action. Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. So if you guys don't know what a call to action is, it's also abbreviated as CTA, call to action. So what, maybe we can take this 10% off entirely, and then maybe we can do a call to action. Maybe say, let's change the font. I really don't like the I don't like that little tail that the R has.
Because even if it's something not good, it have to also like call to action. Either way, like click here or call here, otherwise they look at it and then what? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Wendy, was that you that just said that?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
me.
yeah, that is you. I can recognize your voice anywhere. But yeah, you are absolutely right. Let's try this, guys. So I'm not gonna make this blue because I know some of you guys find that the blue is a little overwhelming. Okay, so I have white. I have a nice balance of the white space here, right? I'm filling up the negative space with something that's not heavy, with an element here to represent a painter. So when people are scrolling, they see special promo, read more. I don't want it to be like, oh, this is just some another random promo. This is a painting promo, right? So what do you guys think? Let's have another open discussion. What do you guys think about this?
What are you asking them to read more of?
The special promo. How would you make this better, Becky?
Well, either give them a link to a landing page that's going to, for them to read more. But I just think saying read more, like what, you need to give them a place to go to read more.
Yeah, absolutely. So the problem with putting links into social media is, what does a link do, Becky? Let's think this through together. That's a great question, by the way.
I have here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's do one at a time. Let's go Becky, and then we'll go to Joe ID.
The goal is to get them to contact you.
Yes.
So either you're going to give them, like to say read more to me doesn't, like, I don't get that. Like read more where, without giving them a link to a landing page that would have the details of your promotion.
Gotcha. Joe ID, before you go, and Wendy, you go after Joe ID. Gotcha. So that's what the caption's there for. There's going to be when we post it, there's going to be a little section where it says talk more about your post, or write more about your post. That's where we put like the call to action and like the information there. The reason why I don't like to put an external link for them to go to, you're probably talking about like a website, right, Becky?
Right, a link to a landing page or to your website. Yes.
Sure, absolutely. So Instagram and Facebook hate that. And do you know why?
Because it takes them off of their platform.
Yeah, they legally have to post it. They can't take that voice away from you, right? But what the algorithm will do is they'll be like, oh wow, this is a link to a completely different page, to a completely different platform, right? Facebook, if you post a YouTube link on Facebook, you will never see results more than 10 views, because YouTube is Facebook's competitor. Why would Facebook post or promote a YouTube link to another user that will take both of those users away from their own platform? So you can put a link, but there's a loophole to prevent that. You could put the link in the comment section. You could post your own comment onto the post by saying, here's a link, because people do look at the comments. When you look at a content that is, controversial or funny or something like that, a lot of us look at the comments, right, to see what other people say or what their opinions are. If the host posts a comment, usually it's pinned to the top. So that's the first comment you see. And if you do put that link, that website, Becky, onto the comment section, then you just loop through the algorithm. Well, because if you put the link as the post itself or in the caption, then it still gets blocked by that algorithm. If you put in the comments, the algorithm will look at the post and the caption, and if there's no link, they'll send it through, and there's more of a likelihood that it'll be promoted. And then the comment section will actually weasel through that algorithm. Back in the day, you could post any link and it'll have the same likelihood impact to be promoted. But nowadays, since Facebook and Instagram is so saturated with businesses, the algorithm has to be a bit more strict. And it's stopped a lot of small businesses from exploding on Facebook, because you post, Yelp reviews or website links as your post or in the caption, and it has received a lot of views. Does that make sense, Becky?
It does, and I've been making that mistake from day one.
Gotcha. And I'm not trying to like bring you down. I'm really glad that you got on this call so I can tell you, back in 2010, I'm sure, we can all testify that like posting something can get a lot of views quicker than it is now. But it's all about the saturation. Like if you posted a YouTube video back in 2006, you'll get hundreds of views if it's funny or if it's like informative. But now if you post a video, you're lucky to get like 10 views, because there's so many accounts. There's so many like people looking up the same thing. You're just going to be buried by the ones that are already accumulating those views in the first place, the ones with more subscriptions. But Becky, I'm actually making another, another workshop. I believe it's going to be week 6 that we talk about captions and how to loop through the algorithm and stuff like that. But it's also going to be on a course that you have access to from Alex. So I'm gonna get Alex to direct you a link with that. Does that sound helpful, Becky?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Of course. Great question, by the way. Thank you for bringing that up. Joy, could you talk about what you were going to talk about?
No, sorry, you already answered.
Oh, what was it?
Yeah, because it was the same. I was it wasn't a question, but it was to share that I have the same mistake on my past post about read more and linking the people from the to the web page. And it works better. I mean, for me, it works so much better when I stopped doing that, and I started putting on the caption and those stuff. But that was it.
Yeah. So guys, if you guys are taking notes, do not put all the information in the visual part of the post. Put it in the captions, right? If you want them to be brought to your website or Yelp or any other outside affiliate link, put it in the comments, pin it, make it expressive, put some emojis on it, right? Statistics have shown that if you put emojis next to a link, there's an 85% increased open rate, 9% increased conversation started, right? I just want to make sure everyone's paying attention. Put a 1 in the group chat if that makes sense, right? If that's something that you guys will start doing, right? Because isn't it time now to guys to get attention, to get recognition for your business? All that hard work that you guys been doing, all that time that you spent on marketing and designing can now finally be of use, right? Let's face it, none of us have gone viral, right? But I think it's time that us hard workers should get that recognition, right? Wendy, you were going to say something. Could you elaborate on what you were going to say?
No, you already covered.
Okay, awesome.
I was going to talk about the links because something happened like that to somebody close to me, that they even blocked his account.
Wow.
So.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, guys, when you make these designs, always make it visually standing, right? Have a nice balance of white space and negative space, right? You can do this if you want. If you want to have like a building block pattern like this, that works too. Some of you guys might like it, some of you guys might not. I don't like this personally because there's a lot of negative space that looks really one-sided. Like if you take a step back, the post looks a little left heavy, right? So you always want to make sure you balance that out. Always have links to reach you guys out more. You can even take it a step further by adding your actual username on there. If you guys see there's a little green dot, it's Grammarly, right? So that helps you out a lot when you, especially when you make captions. So I installed it as an extension of my Google Chrome. So what that does is whatever I type, it will automatically start thinking of ways to make it sound stronger, better, and grammatically correct. So I'll have another training session on how to install that. But if you guys don't have it already, it'll save you so much time and it'll make your voice so much stronger. A lot of college kids use this for their essays, and statistics have shown that a lot of students' writing has gone up exponentially, not because they're getting smarter, because trust me, every generation gets dumber. It's definitely not that. It's definitely Grammarly, right? So if you guys don't have it already, I would highly recommend installing that. But pretty much, I kind of like the look of this. We went from this, guys, to this. Isn't that crazy? Do you guys like, let's call this 1. And let's call this 2. You know what? Even better. 2, 3.
Hey, Eric, I have a question.
Yes.
I know that Canvas has integrations with the social media platform. So once you design something, you could share it right away onto like Facebook and Instagram.
Absolutely.
Does it also integrate with LinkedIn? Like if I was trying to optimize my LinkedIn profile and post promotions and different types of content, am I able to share it the same way I could share it on Facebook and Instagram onto LinkedIn?
That is such a great question. You are absolutely right. Do you guys see my desktop?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So do you guys see Canva?
Yeah.
Awesome. So yes, you can post it on your Facebook page, but I feel like there's a lot of steps to it, right? And I've had times where I would post it directly from Canva onto Instagram or Facebook, depending on what dimension I'm in, right? And a lot of times it wouldn't translate over. Some of the fonts would move around and the quality would diminish. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So do you recommend once you do a promo or you're creating any type of content to save it onto your laptop and then post it?
Yes, I would highly recommend that. So let's go through the steps, guys. When you're on Canva, you can click on share once you're satisfied with it. And once you label everything, right? And you'll see why.
Yeah, but Eric, I thought you had to change the sizes.
Absolutely. That is a great point. So let's say I want to post for Facebook, right? I'm just going to download this for Facebook. Facebook and the LinkedIn dimensions are the same. So when you say something for Facebook, you could do content for painting and more services. And you could do FB and LI for Facebook and LinkedIn. Now, if we want to make this into an Instagram post, right? What you can do is go back to home and your designs will save automatically. So don't worry about it being lost forever. It's right here. Create a design. You see how the dimensions are 1080 by 1080? It's like a lot bigger than Facebook. So what I do, there's no easy way of doing this, but this is what I do. And you guys can start doing. So I get the picture that's saved on here. And I try to map it out everything. It's usually not going to fit perfectly, right? So a lot of times you're going to have to kind of remake the dimensions because Facebook is wider and Instagram is a bit more narrow. That's why it fits really well horizontally, but it doesn't fit vertically, right? So pretty much usually when you design one thing, designing the second thing won't nearly take as long. But a lot of times, sometimes what I'll do is I can even do something like this if I don't have a lot of time. But since there's no easy way to like get the design from a Facebook dimension and automatically translate it to an Instagram dimension, it's very difficult, right? So usually I can drag it over, kind of map it out, stretch it out. If I still don't, if I'm still not pleased with it, then I'll just make it again in like half the time because I already know what it's supposed to look like. Does that make sense, Becky?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Awesome.
I thought that there was an easier way to do it though.
You would think so, but I have yet to unlock that Canva thing. There might be, I wouldn't be surprised if there was, but since I've been able to like just translate it over really quickly and just like make it real fast, I never saw the need for me to like take the time out to research it. But if you do, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to learn that. But let's say let's say I make this in 10 minutes. If I need to translate it over to Instagram, it'll probably take me like 2 minutes to make, nothing too crazy. But yeah, so I've already kind of went over this, but once you save your designs, you always want to make a folder. The last thing you want to do is have everything under one content folder because you're going to lose it. I promise you. I've lost so many like content that it's just ridiculous. And I don't want you guys to go through that. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I kind of missed what the last question was. What was it about Instagram and Facebook?
Yeah, sure. So the dimensions for Facebook and LinkedIn are the same, but the dimensions for Instagram, like the size of the actual post, is different from Facebook and LinkedIn. So Becky's question was, I believe it was Manuel's question. He said, I believe it was Manuel and Becky's question. Regardless, it's a good question. Their question was, how do you get the post that you made for Facebook and LinkedIn for its dimensions translate over to Instagram? And my answer was there's no easy way to do it. What you can do, one way you can do it is to get the post that you saved for Facebook and LinkedIn, drag it over to the Instagram dimensions, right? And just kind of fit it like this, and then like tweak some things here and there. Or what you can do is actually make another promo that's just like this, right? And you can honestly just do something like,
even if you press resize, it still won't work.
A resize option for the post. Is that what you said? You're breaking up.
Yeah, that's what I said. To resize it, that wouldn't work.
I've actually never tried it, but let's try it right here. Yeah. So is this Paul speaking?
Yeah, this is Paul. Sorry.
All right, Paul, walk me through. Do I have to go back to the original design?
Yeah. What I thought, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. You go to the original design and then you press resize on that thing over there on the top left, and you put the pixel size that corresponds to whatever you're trying to put it into.
Oh, okay. Actually, guys, I think Paul might have found the answer. Yeah, I just never have decided to. Oh wait, there's a font. Okay, yeah, so it does resize, but I don't think the font itself grows with it. Yeah, you're gonna have.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're right. I think this saves some time for sure. But you definitely, after you resize, you definitely want to
tweak things around a little bit.
Like make the font a little bigger so that it doesn't look so small. But yeah, there's 2 ways you can go about that. The last 2 things I want to go over before we end the call. I know it's a little more than an hour already. Create a folder, label it as detailed as possible. And yeah, because if you guys look at my external storage, I have multiple folders for each company, right? Folders within folders and folders within folders. right? And I have all of my content here, right? And I can find that. All you guys have to understand is that you have to be able to find your content, and Canva saves your stuff. And I recommend getting the pro version. But that's it for my weekly training call. I know it was a little excessive. Wendy says she had to go, so goodbye, Wendy. It was nice for you to be here. But are there any other questions?
I have one question, Eric. Do you do one post across all the social media platforms, including your Google My Business, or do you create separate posts for each?
That's a great question. So let me break down your question. Is your question referring to whether I do that or whether one should do that?
Whether one should do that, or if
Absolutely.
one should ask their VA to be doing that.
Gotcha. Absolutely. So, Becky, let me ask you this. How long do you think this will take for you? Let's say you spend a day designing a bunch of posts for the week, right? You're satisfied with it, you thought it through, and then when the days come this week, you guys are posting and engaging with the prospects. Do you think that will take up a good chunk of your time throughout the day?
Yeah, I find that once I start playing in Canva, I spend like hours will go by and you don't realize it.
It's completely normal.
It is very time consuming.
Gotcha. Here's what I recommend my clients, right? Or people that take advice from me. I believe the people that should be designing it should be you initially, because you're the only person in your business that can capture your voice, right? You're the only person that understands your business more than anyone else. I feel like a VA, their job is to actually do the postings for you. So you send all the designs to the VA, right? The VA knows your posting schedule, right? And then post accordingly to the platforms. Because posting by itself does take some time, right? Because you got to copy and paste the caption. You got to make sure the hashtags translate accordingly. You got to make sure you tag the right people. You got to make sure the dimensions are right. You got to make sure that you're replying back to all the comments. So to answer your question, I think you should do the designs. You say you spend hours on it, at least dedicate one day of the week to spend those hours designing, so that the rest of the week you're focusing on walkthroughs, cleaning, hiring, interviewing, and talking to your VA. Does that make sense? You don't want to create a design and then post it, and the next day you create a different design for a different day and then post it. That'll take up so much of your time. So I think you spending a lot of time on Canva is going to be irreversible, but how you can make it worth it is by spending one day on it for about 3 hours or so, and then sending it to your VA for them to post. Did that answer your question, Becky?
Yeah, well, right now we try to do posts, like have them made for the entire month, and then
That's perfect.
just sit down. But what I'm asking though too is I have been doing the same post to my Google My Business, to Facebook, to Instagram, like your special promotion, read more, like that would go to all the social media sites. It wouldn't just go to Facebook or just the LinkedIn.
Yeah, for sure. So what I do is I do this method where, let's say I have 50 posts, right? So Facebook and LinkedIn will get like post 1 through 25. They're not in chronological order. They're just labeled 1 through 50, right? So for Facebook and LinkedIn, I'll post 1 through 25. But for Instagram, I'll start with post number 50 and go backwards to 25. And once they meet in the middle, then they reverse. So it's not like all your platforms are the same content. You know, it looks like it's different content on all platforms, but in reality, they are the same, right? And the reason being is because it keeps things interesting. It looks like your company's a lot bigger than it is, right? And also, there's more of a likelihood that it's going to capture more eyes and audiences, and you get to see what posts work and what don't. But to answer your question, yes, you want to post multiple posts onto your platforms. You can start off by having one of the same post on all your platforms all the time, but you've been telling me that it hasn't been working. So I recommend trying that method that I just mentioned. And the main goal is to be consistent. Does that answer your question, Becky?
Yeah, yeah. I'll have to try to figure out exactly how to do that 1 through 50 and do it, post it backwards. But yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, we have had success, but it is the same exact post going to all the social media sites at the same time. So I thought that there should be a better way. So I like what you're saying.
Yeah. You and I can always get on like a separate call, and like I could look at your post, or I could help you design some posts and then strategize the scheduling with you.
Perfect. I would love that, Eric. Thank you.
Absolutely. And we'll talk more on Messenger. But is there anyone else? Joe ID, you were very active in this call today. Is there anything that you'd like to add or ask?
No, for me the information is okay. The only thing that I have in a struggle, but I don't know if you can give me some advice about it, is the hashtags. I mean, sometimes I don't know how to use it or how much using them to make it a post. That's but I don't know if you can help me a little bit with it.
How many hashtags do you add in your post? Let's do Instagram. How many hashtags do you add on Instagram?
Use a few of them, like trying to get in the traffic of the people that is looking for cleaning services, maid services, something like that.
Try
but I don't
this.
know.
Keep it under nine hashtags. Anything, because how many followers do you have on that Instagram account?
It's a few of them, 200.
Okay, cool. It's not bad. But anything around like less than 1,000, you want to make it. If you add too many hashtags, it'll look too much of a spam, of like a scam sort of thing. You don't want to have too many hashtags. Usually right under 9 is ideal.
Okay.
And also, what your question is an SEO question, search engine optimization, right? It's a big scary word, right? SEO, search engine optimization, but think of it as strategy. It's literally just a marketing strategy, right? And marketing strategy is less of a scary word, right? So what you can do is go on Instagram, right? Look up cleaning, and you know how there's like an autofill section where it fills in like your question or your phrase for you when you search things up on Instagram, right? That's Instagram's way of telling you this is the most trendy captions. These are the most trendy questions. These are the most trendy things on Instagram, right? And you get that and you make that into a hashtag. I highly recommend you looked up trending hashtags for cleaning for your company, trending hashtags for your area, for Clive, right? And always, no matter what, have a hashtag with the business name, because when people look up the business name, your post will show up there.
Oh, okay.
Right? Always have a hashtag of the business name.
Okay. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any other questions? Paul, thank you for giving me that resize option. Are there any questions or anything you want to add?
No, I appreciate the information, man.
Of course. Spend time. Spend one day of the week designing, playing things out. You can send them designs to me, and I'll be more than happy to critique it for you and bounce some ideas. But hopefully, some elements have helped and stuff like that.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Of course. If I answered your question, you guys can leave. I'm just gonna go through everyone else because I know you guys are busy. Cleavon, you joined a little bit later, but are there any questions that you have or anything you want to add?
No, I'm okay for now. Right.
Okay, awesome. It's good to see you again. It's been a while. Manuel.
Hey, Eric. Well, I have a question. Will the workshop recording be available?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna have to snip off like the first 10 minutes of us talking, and then it'll be posted on YouTube, and I'll send you a YouTube link. Does that sound cool?
Yeah, that's no problem. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anything else I can help you out with?
I think you covered a lot in this little workshop, and it was very useful.
Yeah, and I hope you and your girlfriend, you and your business partner, bounce ideas off one another, especially about negative space and white space, elements, fonts, and the color hex code, because your blue is a very distinctive blue, Manuel. So I would definitely find the color that you used for it and then write that code in somewhere. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So that when you guys start getting hats or like customized water bottles, you guys have the actual color of your brand rather than some generic blue and green. Does that make sense?
All right, I understand.
I'm having a secondary workshop for you guys. This one's going to be more Instagram based. So I'm going to talk more about Instagram and stuff like that. But if you're interested, you can always message me and I'll add you to the calendar.
No problem. I'm definitely gonna show this recording to my girlfriend because she's more creative. She loves using the canvas to create posts and different types of stuff like that. So
gotcha. That sounds good. Well, if you want to message me about any questions or designs, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to help her.
No problem.
All right, thank you, Manuel. And I'll message you shortly. Becky, is there anything you want to add? Any questions you have for me?
No, Eric, I think this was super helpful, and I'll send you some information on Messenger.
Awesome. Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. But otherwise, for those watching the video, thank you guys so much for hopping onto this training session. Thank you for those who hopped on and designed this with me. My name is Eric. I'm the content director of Scale My Cleaning Business, as well as the CEO of BeCreative Media. But yeah, if you guys want to hop on more calls like this, message me and I'll be more than happy to add you to the calendar. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for hopping on, Becky, Manuel, and Fireflies, and everyone else. And yeah, just be smart, be innovative, and always be creative. Okay? Alrighty, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys so much.